Greetings, traders. I wanted to do a quick video here before continuing on with the Code 3 course that I'm working on and begin to, I want to give you the heads up. I want to educate you a little bit about what's really going on and, what to watch out for. You'll see that virtually everyone in the industry is calling for the market to go down. Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, just about everybody. All of the shills out there, Peter Schiff, Gerald Celente, it goes on and on and on. All a bunch of shills to try and convince people that the market is going to go down. Actually, the stock market, the Dow, the United States stock market, will probably go somewhere between 50,000 and 100,000 within the next 5 to 10 years. So in other words, it's going to do just the exact opposite of what everyone's calling for. I would like to open up your eyes to the fact that these people, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, everybody else, they don't really believe that the market is going to go down. They all have hundreds of millions of dollars invested into the stock market. They are buying up all the shares. The Federal Reserve in the United States is buying the stock market, and they are buying an untold amount, billions of dollars. They are buying up the shares in the stock market. And in fact, all of the central banks all over the world are buying the United States stock market. And they are buying billions of dollars worth. They are buying up all the shares. And on top of this, all the shares that they buy will never be sold ever again. They will own them forever until it exists, until it stops existing. Those shares will never be sold on the market ever again. The whole point in what they are doing is to buy every share in existence. This is one reason, for instance, why they tell people through their media that the market is going to go down, because they want people to sell their shares. They sell them, these people are buying them, and when they buy them, they will own them and hold them forever. For instance, they're doing the same thing in the real estate market. They are everyone's house that gets foreclosed on. These people are actually just keeping the homes, because they want to own them, and they want to own all of them. It has nothing to do with making money or making more money or anything like that. It has to do with a much more sinister reason, unfortunately. It has to do with wanting to make people poor, wanting to make them serfs. This is what their agenda is. So I'm trying to open up your eyes here, okay? Let me go ahead and show you a chart. Here is a chart of the Dow Industrial Average, the Dow Jones, okay? 1929, it crashed, and then from there, it went up. Now, look at this. It crashed. So many people lost their money. But just think about all the people that bought down here, and bought here, and bought here, and here, and here, and all the way up. All those people did nothing but make money, while these people lost their money. Of course, the people in the know, the people who caused the crash to begin with through their media, they sold out up here and they bought back again down here. As it went down, they were buying the whole entire time. People were selling their shares in panic. They were losing their money. They were buying the shares. And then it went up and they made nothing but money. In the year 1996, I had two stockbroker friends. One of them was a stockbroker. One of them brought companies to the public. The stock market at the time was 3,000, and I told them that the stock market would go up to 10,000, and they thought that was pretty crazy, and I explained to them why. Because all over the country they had instituted a program where you could now, everybody in the country could work and they could invest in the stock market through a 401k. This meant that there would be massive money being put into the stock market on a continuous basis from week to week to week, all over the country, and that the stocks would go higher in price. This was basic, simple logic, and it was also going with the pattern of what had been happening. More and more people being born, more and more people grow up, more and more people work, and more people invest, and their buyers outweigh the sellers, and it does nothing but go up. In the year 2006, about, somewhere around there, I went over this guy's house to teach him about trading, and he was a millionaire, had a big, beautiful home, and he had a product that he sold to Walmart. Walmart bought his product from him, and he sold it through Walmart, and he made a lot of money. And he had $500,000 of his money short the stock market, short the Dow Jones, at 7,000, and it was right about at 7,000. It was a little higher, like 7,200 or something like that. So he was down a little bit in money. And he asked me, what I thought of it. And I told him that, well, I pulled up this chart. And I said, well, just imagine what it is you're trying to do. You are trying to guess when this chart from here to here will finally go down. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to guess a 1 in a million shot of when it will finally go down. And he had been watching one of these shills on TV. There are many of them. And this shill convinced him that the market was going to go down. And so he put his money for the market to go down, and he lost all of his money. All $500,000 he lost is gone. All because a shill was able to convince him that the market would go down at 7,000. Now just imagine if he had used more basic logic and not listened to somebody else convince him of what's going to happen. And he put that 500,000 long the market at 7,000. Where would he be at now? Totally different place. Instead, he listened to a shill and made a mistake and lost his money. People are doing this all over. Like, for instance, when oil was up at $100 a barrel, there were shills coming out telling the public that they have an Illuminati insider who is informing them that oil will go to $200 a barrel. And this became very popular on the internet. This man became very listened to, and he convinced a lot of people that oil was going to go to $200 a barrel. I know one guy who put $15,000 into it. He was up $15 into it. He had quite a bit of money into it. I think he had, like, I'm not sure exactly, but somewhere around 50,000 in profit or something like that. And he asked me what I think of it. And I said, he was long the market at 90, and it was currently at about 105 or so. And I said, well, that's great. You think it's going to go to $200 a barrel? Maybe it will. And you're taking that risk. I think it's great. If it goes there, you're gonna do really super well, obviously. And I said, the only thing that I would recommend is for you to put a break-even stop on your trade. Don't lose any money. I mean, if it comes all the way back down, go ahead and break even on it. And he said, why should I do that? I said, well, what do you mean why you should do that? I mean, you don't want to lose money on the trade, right? He said, well, I've studied the oil chart, and oil never comes down that much. And I really? What chart have you studied? I was trading oil at 147, and it went all the way down to $30 a barrel. So it doesn't go down that much? These people, they don't think. What they do is they basically listen to a shill. A shill fools them. They lose their money. This is the whole reason for all these shills, is because they want people to lose their money. They want to take their money from them without them realizing how it was being done. Now, we are sitting way up here, and you got all these people calling for it to go down. I mean, so many people now are calling for the market to go down, it is not even funny. I just want to teach all of you a lesson about trading so that you can begin to learn how to make money like I do. Whenever you see everybody saying the market is going to do a certain thing, you absolutely, positively do the opposite of that. I can guarantee you basically the market is going to take off. It's going to go up to 50, even 100,000. You say, why? How? There's many reasons for it. First of all, there is more money sitting on the sidelines right now all over the world than in world history. Did you realize that? All the corporations, all the banks, all the Federal Reserves all around the world have more money than they have ever had in world history sitting on the sidelines. Second of all, first time in history that corporations who make wash machines, for instance, okay, they make a certain amount of money from selling wash machines, all right? That business model that has existed, for a long, long time, certainly since the Industrial Revolution, that business model that existed is being superseded by something else, which is the stock market. In other words, a company like that can take $100 billion or $100 million and put it into the stock market and make far more money than they ever could selling wash machines. So the stock market is becoming the biggest game in the world. And soon it's going to be virtually the only game in the world, the only way to make money. You either make money, you won't even be able to work at a convenience store or anything like that anymore. That'll all be robotic jobs, automated checkout, etc. So you won't even be able to do that anymore. You're either going to be extremely poor or you're going to be into the market making money. Or have some unique business of some sort. But all the businesses that people try and start are all being bought out. They're being bought out by the same people who are buying the market. There are a people out there who are buying the market, buying the housing, buying up all the businesses. They are buying everything, taking everything away from everybody else. Now, just to give you a pointer, when everybody out there is talking about how great the stock market is and how it's going to go to 1 million and how, everybody will be talking about it, how great it is, how wonderful it is. It's just gone up so much. It's at 50,000. It's at 100,000. Everybody will be like, it's going to 1 million. It's incredible. We're all going to be rich as can possibly be. That is when you get out. When everybody thinks it's going to go down, that is when you get in. Always remember that. Because you know why? It works every single solitary time, without exception. Like, for instance, in 2006, everybody, and I'm talking about everybody, was buying a home. I was in a relationship for a long time and got out of that relationship because the girl wanted me to buy a home. And I said, no, I'm not going to buy a home. You don't understand trading. You don't understand how things work. It's only going to collapse and come down. If everybody is buying a home, if taxi cab drivers are buying homes, if people who work at McDonald's and make minimum wage are buying homes, then who is going to buy the home from them? Nobody. And it's not as if they were actually buying homes. They weren't. Nobody was buying a home. They were all taking loans, which means they're slaves to 30 years and will pay double the amount in interest. So if you buy a home for $500,000, you're going to pay $500,000 in interest. You're going to pay $1 million for the home. And they just, I don't know. Not educated, or nobody tells them. The banks have no interest in telling them. The banks are going to make all the money from them. Their friends have no interest in telling them. Nobody knows. Nobody understands what's going on. And so they all follow along like sheep and do what everybody else does, and they all lose their money. And it happens over and over and over and over and over again without end. And like Bitcoin. Could you imagine the person who bought Bitcoin for $20,000? What were they thinking? Bitcoin is nothing. It doesn't even exist. It's It doesn't even, it's out of thin air. I mean, it doesn't even exist. It exists as a 0 and 1 on a magnetic medium, or some other medium that a 0, 1 can be put onto, like a CD or an optical or a magnetic medium or whatever else technology there is out there now that you can store a 0 and 1 on. And that's all it is. It's meaningless. It has no value. It has no intrinsic value by itself. It also has no value in the real world. I mean, how many places do you go to where Bitcoin is accepted? You know, I don't go anywhere where Bitcoin is accepted. Anywhere. And I've never seen anywhere where Bitcoin is accepted. So therefore, it is a meaningless form of currency. A meaningless form of exchange. It has no value to it whatsoever. I mean value even in the sense of it being an exchange. All it is a total 100% scam. And the people who started the scam are the same people who were buying the market. And what they're doing is they're taking people's money from them out of their accounts. It's all electronic. You got your money in electronic, and they go and they take your money out from you. This is happening all over the place. People aren't reporting on it. The news isn't reporting on it because they have no interest in reporting on it. But people are losing millions of dollars that they had in Bitcoin, and they're losing it out of their accounts. They say, oh, well, it got hacked. No, it got hacked by the people who started it. It was all a scam to begin with. So I just want to let all of you know, if you have money into the market, it is of my opinion that you should hold it if you are able to. You don't need the money. And you should hold it because the market's only going to go up. Even if the market dips back down a bit, 5,000 or whatever, it means nothing. It's just a little tiny dip, little tiny dip, little tiny dip. They're always going to be little tiny dips. Look, tiny dip, tiny dip, tiny dip, tiny dip, 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 over and over and over and over again. Market go down, market go down, right? But what does it keep going? Up, 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 up. Gerald Celente, for instance, I don't know if you know of him or not, he's another shill. He's been calling for the market to go down since 2012. And what has it done since 2012? Just gone straight up. And what does he say about that? Does he say he's sorry that he got it wrong? No. He says the exact opposite. Exact opposite. He says that he was right. He has been right for 12 years. And what's the truth? Well, the truth is that he has been completely wrong for 12 years. But he says that he's right. I mean, this is the new dynamic that's taking place. Everything that you say, you just keep saying that you're right, that you're right. Everything that you do is wrong, and you made one mistake after another, but you keep saying, I'm right, I'm right. Everything I do is right. I have the most people looking at me. Everything is a total lie. It's incredible what they're doing. So I just wanted to open up your eyes, wake you up. It's not just that I know about the futures markets and all being controlled by a computer, and I broke the program for it. I know about all the markets, and I know all the scams and the games that they all play. It's all a game. It's all a scam. If you go with what the vast majority of people are doing, you will lose. 100% guaranteed. You will lose every single time. You have to go completely the opposite of what everyone else is doing. Now, you might say, oh, but David, I mean, things are getting really bad in the States. I mean, people are going homeless, people are losing their jobs, people are losing their homes. You know, on the streets, it's really, really bad. And so how is the market going to go up when everything is getting so bad? How is the market going to go up when people are losing their jobs and people are becoming poor and everything like that? Well, what you're doing is you're making a mistake. You're correlating people's wealth with the market going up, and they have nothing to do with each other. You got to understand something now. People have wealth all over the world. China, Russia, Europe, South America, everywhere, all over the world, there are wealthy people. There are wealthy corporations. The governments themselves can have money, or the central banks who parasite off the countries to make money from them. They have money, all these central banks. The same people who own the central bank in the United States are the same people who own the central banks all over the world. They own all the money of the world, and they are the ones who loan the money out to everybody else at interest so that they can be slaves to that money and to that interest. It's a scam. It's a total scam. The whole purpose is to make people slaves to money, make people slaves to them since they control the money. So what I wanted to do with this video is I just wanted to give you the heads up. The market is only going to go higher. And one of the reasons for that is because what you don't see is that the market is being bought now by corporations all over the world. Every corporation, German corporations, Chinese corporations, Russian corporations, everybody all over the world is buying the market. The Federal Reserves, who have all the money, are buying the market. Okay? And when these people buy the market, they're not going to sell. At least the Federal Reserves. The Federal Reserves all over the world, they won't sell. Their goal is to own every share in the market. That there's nobody out there who has any shares except for themselves. This is their goal, and they probably will attain that goal. Just like they own all the corporations now. You know, if you are somebody who starts a business and you're successful in that business, these people who are buying the market, they will come up to you and they will offer you an absurd amount of money for your business. And most people will take it. I mean, if they offered you, if you had a business that was making $500,000 a year or $1 million a year or $2 million a year, and they offered you $2 billion for your business, you just walk away, they give you $2 billion for it. Most people will say, yeah. And that's why they own all the businesses now. They're owning all the businesses, they're owning all the real estate, they're owning the entire stock market, they're owning everything. And they're making everybody else poor on purpose. So I'm here to tell everybody that, in my opinion, you should be in the market and you should be holding it. Hold it for at least 50,000. It might even do 100,000. Very easily could happen, because see, what's happening is, as the Federal Reserve and all the Federal Reserves all over the world, the central banks of the world and the corporations, as they buy the market, there's less and less shares for each stock. As it becomes higher and higher, people will want to buy because they will want to sell higher, right? Make some money. There will be less shares to buy and more people to come in and buy because all the money that's sitting on the sidelines. So as there becomes less and less shares, the higher it goes, there'll be less and less shares available to buy. And it will just absolutely skyrocket, similar to Bitcoin. It'll be just pure greed. But at the same time, it'll be accumulated and owned and never sold. So the market will go to 100,000, for instance, and it will never come down. Because the people who own it won't sell it to anybody. They just simply want to own it. It has nothing to do with money. They already have all the money. It has absolutely nothing to do with making money. It has to do with owning everything, where nobody else does, but you do. That's the goal. That's what you need to understand. Now you're in this game with them. Your goal is to make enough money for yourself that you could become independent and that you don't need to rely on the system and that they cannot take that money from you. Now what I wanted to do here was establish myself so that I could come out and speak the real truth of what's going on and give my prediction so that when I am right, I can show that, see, I was right. All of these people, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, all these people, were all wrong. But I'm here to tell you that they know what I know too. They're just telling you that because they want you to get out of the market. They want you to stay out of the market. They don't want you to buy shares. They're trying to accumulate as many shares as they possibly can. They don't want you getting in the way of that. What they want you to do is sell any shares that you might have so that they can buy them from you. And it's only going to push higher and higher and higher. I estimate it will go to at least 50,000, if not 100,000. And the rich will get far more rich, and the poor will get far more poor, as everything goes up in price, and their ability to make money is basically devastated. Also, just to give you a quick heads up, right now the Chinese market is the market to buy if you don't have the money to put a lot of money into the stock market, because it's very expensive now. But the Chinese market is a good one to buy, and China is going to be, the people who rule the world have already stated, China will be the leader of the new world order. So in other words, their new world order that they're going to put into place, the leader of that new world order will be China. And China is going to, they're going to have China land on the moon like America did, but America didn't really land on the moon, and neither will China. But it's all a PR stunt in order to make China look like it's really super special and everything. They're going to do that with everything. China's going to come out with all kinds of new technology. They just came out with the artificial intelligence newscaster. They're going to come out with all kinds of stuff like that. Real big technology. This is stuff that has been developed by the people who are buying the market for a long time. For 50 years they've been developing this technology. Over 50 years, 75 years they've been developing this technology, and they have a whole bunch of technology that the world does not know about, and they're going to have China present it. Okay, they're behind it, all right, but they're going to have China present it to the world because they want to make China the new world order leader. Okay, so what's going to happen then with their market is it's going to skyrocket in a major way. It's going to really skyrocket, and there will be all kinds of Chinese stocks like Facebook and Google and etc. that will come out, and those will skyrocket. Now this, we're talking like, you know, we're at least a good 5-10 years away from all of this really starting to happen in a big way. I'd say at least 5 years, but it's going to start happening. And so the markets are buys. The U.S. market, the Chinese stock market, full 100% buys. The Japanese market also been moving up quite a bit. Also, you will see with the futures that I do that all of the indexes, the Dow Jones, the S&P, the NASDAQ, all of the indexes that are supposedly trading are not trading. They are being controlled by a computer program. But the individual stocks themselves are, in fact, trading. But the indexes that are supposed to be reflections of what the stocks are doing are not trading. In other words, so they're not really reflections of what the stock market is doing. So in other words, the stock market can be made to go up higher and higher and higher, even if that weren't really to happen through the reality or the dynamics of trading. In other words, people aren't really buying, the stocks can still go higher. And since they can control the index, and since they can control the index, they can creep it up, creep it up, creep it up, and the stocks will follow because people will see that it's going up and they'll buy. This is what people don't understand. They look around and they see people being poor, and everybody's working at McDonald's now, and there's no jobs anymore, and everybody is maxed out on their credit cards, and you know, people owe, you know, $500,000 for their home, and you know, and they think, oh man, it's all going to collapse. No, it's not all going to collapse. The society will collapse, yes, but the markets, the financial industry will not collapse, and it will only go higher. And you either profit from it or you get poorer and poorer. It's that simple. So I suggest all of you who do not have a lot of money, get Code 3 and work as hard as you possibly can to make as much money as you possibly can in the shortest period of time that you can. And then you start making investments into solid companies, solid stocks, always looking for something special. And it's not easy to see these things that are special. Like, for instance, when Facebook came out, I heard about Facebook and I could have invested into it, but I thought to myself, Facebook? I mean, who the heck would use Facebook? I mean, nobody. I mean, somebody's going to go on to some website and put their pictures on so everybody can see it. I mean, nobody's going to do that. So I thought it was a really stupid idea. Obviously, I was wrong. So don't use your emotions or what you think is going to happen. Use the chart. When you see increasing volume and price going higher, it's a buy. You buy, you use a reasonable stop. Like, for instance, let's say you bought right there. You put the stop below right there and you let it go. If it comes back down and hits your stop, so be it. You lose on that trade. Take another one. But if you hit it, then you hold it. And it's not that hard to hit them. You wait for a dip, you wait for it to turn, you buy in, you put the stop, and you let it go. You've got lots of opportunities here, 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 lots of them, here, all over the place. Here was a major one, All you had to do was buy the dip. And just remember though, when it's going down, all the shills, all the CNBC, all the guys will all come out and they'll say, it's gonna crash, it's terrible, it's the end. They'll show pictures of the guys trading on the street, on the floor, right, and with their heads down, and they're really depressed and everything, Oh no, the market's going down. Oh. Right? To paint the picture of this horrible thing happening. When in reality, all of us real traders were going, yeah, the market's going down. Here's buying opportunity. You see, it's a totally different thing. We're 100% the opposite, 180-degree opposite of everybody else. Everything that you're being told, everything that you hear on CNBC, on television, is all absolute 100% nonsense in the extreme. All designed to manipulate you into doing the wrong thing so that you lose your money. So what I'd like you to do is start listening to me, start seeing that I am right in what I'm saying, and then you can listen to me. I can help make you money just like I make myself money too. And then the irony to it all is it's really not even hard. It's very, very simple. You just simply do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. Well, you can't imagine the argument I got into in 2006 to go to buy a house. I tried to explain to all these people and everybody. The girl that I was talking about, all of her friends bought houses. All of them. Every single solitary last one of them. They all bought homes. They're making, $30,000, $40,000 a year. They're all buying homes. Homes that cost like $500,000. And they all thought, they were so happy and excited and everything. They just, their dream come true for them, blah, blah, blah. Every single solitary one of them lost their home. And to this day, I still don't even think they knew why or how it happened. That they were manipulated into it, and they don't even know it. I'm trying to help you. Don't allow these people to manipulate you because they are actively trying to do so. You can come, at least listen to me, and I will at least tell you what I think and my suggestions, and I am usually always right. Because I learned how the game worked a long time ago. Real simple. Go out there, fool all the people, make them do a certain thing, they lose their money, you make money from them. I mean, how else are you going to make money? If somebody doesn't lose their money, how do you make money? You can't. Therefore, you have to force people to lose their money. So how do you do it? Simple. You just go on, use your media, tell everybody, oh, it's great, it's going to go up, or it's going to go down, and then they lose their money, and you make money from them. It's real simple. Happens all the time, every day. The market is totally corrupt. I mean, that's what it's all about. Somebody's going to lose, somebody's going to win. One thing I like about futures is that when you're trading futures and you make money, nobody else is losing any money. The only people that are losing money is the people who put the market under the control of a computer. They're losing money. But they already have all the money in the world, so I don't think the money that you're going to take from them is really going to hurt them very much. But in a real market, like the stock market, somebody has to lose, somebody has to win. Now, if everybody out there just bought the market like this, they see the chart going up, so everybody out there just buys the market, all right? Because everybody believes that the market's going to go up. Well, then how would there be a market? Who is going to sit up here and sell to them? I mean, if it's going to go higher, would you want to sell now, or would you want to sell when it goes higher? I think most people would agree that they would want to sell when it goes higher. Therefore, if you already know that it's going to go higher, why would you sell now? Therefore, if there's nobody to sell now, then how is it going to go higher? Because there's nobody to buy. I mean, there's nobody to buy from. You can't buy any shares because nobody wants to sell you any. See, the only way to get it to go higher is to get people to sell so that you can buy, so that you could take their money from them. This is the reason for all the shills, the Peter Schiffs, the Gerald Celentes, and all the rest of them, all the con artists who want to get you into gold or get you into cryptocurrencies or whatever else. Anything but the real thing. Anything but the real game. Now, I've been trading for 20 years. I can just tell you right now, Bitcoin will be down at $1 soon. Yeah, I mean, it's currently at what, 4,000 or whatever? It'll be down to $1. It'll be worthless. It'll be trading on the pink sheet soon. Because it was worthless to begin with. And people just don't realize, you know, and they get their money taken from them. In other words, there's all these roads that you could go down, okay? And there's only one right road, really. And that road will never be promoted. All the other roads to go down that will lead you to the wrong path will be promoted. Because there's a people out there who are doing this to you on purpose. They want you to be poor, they want to own everything, and they want you to own nothing. And they're going to try and trick you out of it. I am going to come online here to YouTube, and I am going to try to educate you about these people and teach you about what's really going on so that you can profit from it. You can profit from the codes, you can profit from the stock market, you can profit from investing. It's not that hard. So while the people in the United States may be going down and becoming really, really poor, people all over the world are buying the stock market. Corporations all over the world are buying the stock market. And the central banks all over the world are buying the stock market. So anyway, I'm going to get back to doing the Code 3 course. And I will be done with it this next week. I will be offering it. And you can use this Code 3 on all futures markets. And I will be doing trading of Code 3 after I'm done. And I plan to make 500, 600, 700, 800 ticks per day to show it off, show how powerful it actually is. Use the Code 3, make your money, get yourself invested into the markets. That's really the way to make money. What you really should do is try and pick stocks that you think that have a good chart, that have good volume, that have a good product, that are making money. Okay, they got everything. You think, oh, but they're expensive. Don't worry about it. Buy them. You know, if you want to be more conservative than that, always buy everything on a dip. Never buy anything that's broken out. Just buy it on a dip. Even if it goes higher, but then dips, then buy it. Always buy a dip. Like, for instance, if you did that, it dipped down here, you could buy. You know, it moved up. You had to wait for a while. Dip back down, you could buy. Dip back down again, you could buy. You know, dip back down, you could buy. Didn't really dip much there. Dip down there, you buy, etc. Just always buy dips, and then you will be doing better than if you didn't do that. My only caution to that is we are at a very specific point right now, okay? A point that I don't think we've ever been before, at least not in my lifetime that I remember seeing. The market is poised to really shoot higher here. The shares are drying up. I can see them on the level 2. They're drying up. Anytime people start getting scared and start to sell, there's this incredible buyers that come in on the bid.
who are not afraid of anything, who do not think it's going to go down, and they are buying like crazy. This is why the market will not go down. I mean, even in October when we had all this fear and everything, it was perfectly set and poised. The trade war going on, blah, blah, blah. And you would think if at any time it would go down now, still won't go down. I'm telling you, it's poised to shoot higher. So I am calling for the stock market to be at least 50,000, if not even 100,000, within 5 to 10 years from now. Okay, I'm going to go, getting back to code 3 here, I'm going to finish it this weekend. Hope all of your traders are doing well in your trading. I hope you nailed Friday's trade for the oil market because that one was huge. Very, very easy. Code 2 worked perfect. Code 3 worked even better. Could have made more ticks on code 3 than anything else. And get ready for code 3, everyone. You guys are going to really, 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 really love this. Okay, I'm going to go. Hope you're having a great weekend, and I will be back with code 3. Happy trading, everyone.